Hi, and welcome to The Christian View. I'm your host, Dr. Trudy, and I just want to say welcome. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time, I'm glad that you stopped by. And if you've been here for any amount of time, I just want to say welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I never take sharing the gospel lightly, and it's always an honor to be able to speak God's truth with other believers and just with you. So thank you, and go ahead and grab your coffee, your tea, piece of paper and a pen. We're going to dive in. Today I have a topic that is really near and dear to my heart. It's called the Stronger Than the Storm, an Athlete's Inner Battle. If you've been with me for any time, you know that I am an avid ultra athlete, 16 Ironman, World Championship, Kona in 2022. And then I just recently ran my first 100-mile race on behalf of my dad, who died of cancer a year and a half ago. But this is really near and dear to my heart. And as I was praying about this topic, I couldn't help but remember Rich Reed and how he showed up for me when I was running the 100 miles. Rich Reed, we're not going to tell your age, are we?
Go ahead.
All
Might
right.
as well. Why
45 years old. 45 years old. You're an architect.
Yeah, I am.
You're an endurance athlete.
Yes.
In fact, I met you Haines City, Florida. Ironman.
Was that almost 8 years ago?
Almost 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I was trying to catch up with another friend, and you were like, you can do it, and you kind of ran with me to get me to the place I needed to be, and then you took off.
Yeah, it was crazy how that worked too. And I can't believe we've known each other that long.
Yeah.
And this has been a long time coming for us to be here.
Yes.
But I was going on the loop, and I remember, and being that it made, the conditions were like horrible.
I mean, we were running an ankle, was it almost knee deep? Like almost knee deep water?
Water.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was imagine the worst. It was worse than that.
It was so bad.
It was worse than that.
It was so bad.
And we both was going through our struggles.
Yes.
But I caught up to you and had the opportunity to like help you and get you to the next point.
Right.
And even though I could have kept going, I actually stayed back with you.
You did. Yes.
I didn't care about my time anymore. And we could dig into that and why that's important. But I didn't care about my time anymore. I just wanted to make sure you and our dear friend that was with us connected and continued.
Because if we hadn't connected, I don't know if we would have I don't know if I would have finished that day, because like you said, the conditions were so bad. Like if you ever wanted to quit, that would have been a day to quit, but
and you would have had a good excuse to quit.
Right.
You
I was
soaking
wet. I mean, it was, I had never seen so much rain, but as endurance athletes, and we're going to talk a little bit about more of that, but we can't quit. Mm-mm. We're meant to keep going. And so you finished strong. Mm-hmm. That race, you finished strong. You caught me up to my friend, and then you kept going, and you did amazing. And I remember you had your wife with you at the time, and I turned a corner, and she was there, and that smile was 100% what I needed at the time. And so I was just so thankful. And then fast forward to 2024, I had this crazy idea to run 100 miles in 24 hours on behalf of my dad, who had died of childhood cancer. I mean, my dad died of cancer, but I was doing the race to raise money for childhood cancer in his honor. And so I didn't even know what to do, right? I just was like, I'm going to do this. So I started training. Come to race day, it's, 9 o'clock. I get a phone call. Hey, it's Rich Reed. What's going on? What are you doing? What's your plan? What's your plan to finish? I'm like, I don't have a plan. You're like, you got to have a plan. Us athletes, we stick together. You got to have a plan. And so I hang up the phone. Midnight rolls around. Who shows up? Yeah. I'm like, how did that happen? How did you just showed up at midnight, and you ran with me for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I did it on purpose because I didn't want to show up when the times were good.
Yeah.
When the times were like, oh, this is great. It's daylight. Oh, let's just skip through the first 10, 20 miles. Okay.
Yeah.
You need somebody through those difficult moments and those hard times. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take a nap. Yeah. I'm going to take care of me.
That's right.
Before I take care of you.
Right.
So I'm going to nap, make sure my body is okay so it can handle the stress of, all these things. And we can actually dive into a different story because when we was on those laps, I was like, Trudy, you're kind of talking too much. Let's go ahead and focus.
You did tell me to be quiet a couple of times.
But anyway, I had to make sure that I showed up when those times weren't the best, where your mind can go astray.
Yes.
Because I understood what it would be like.
Yeah.
And you need people.
Right. And and so one of the things you said to me, Rich, was we were running, and you gave me such great advice. And one was to be quiet. I talk too much. The other one, which I loved. But one was we were running and we were talking, and you said, I'm trying to deal with my demons just like everybody else. And I was like, okay, wow, that's a real moment. That is a real moment, because if we think about life, we all have struggles that we're trying to overcome. We're trying to get better at. We're trying to die to. And those demons can feel really, really real. And so I had appreciated you being so honest, because one thing you said was, people look so perfect and they have it all together. And that's not true. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of athleticism and doing these long distance races, that it really breaks you down to figure out who you are. And at that moment, it was a safe space to share my story and to keep you going at the same time. Is that we're not that far apart. We're not different. We're the same.
Yeah.
And we're struggling now going through this race, but then we have other life issues that we have to contend with.
Right.
And I wanted to share that story just so, number one, I felt free, and then you felt like, oh, okay, I'm not alone in whatever I'm going through, but hey, this is me raw and uncut.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
which is great, because I said earlier, I think in another segment, that 95% of people walk around wearing a mask because they're afraid to be judged. They're afraid of the rejection or the criticism. But if we could just let our mask down and say, you know what? I am really struggling. I am really struggling. I've got issues that I'm facing that I'm having trouble overcoming, because two are better than one. And when we bring things that are in the darkness into light, that's when healing can begin and transformation can take place.
And I think that actually brought us closer together as friends.
Yeah.
Not only from the Haines City, Florida race in connection there, but then when we share our struggles, it really brings community together.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then now we can hold hands and actually stride by stride and get through our common goal.
Yeah.
Even though my struggles may be different from yours or whatever, but we can actually use it to get through what we both want to achieve together.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I do, because no one's alike. We all have our own unique struggles, but we're all struggling. And so we can, instead of me judging you or you judging me, oh, he must, not have it all together or whatever, we can come alongside each other and say, hey, let me help you. Let me walk side by side. Let me pick you up when you can't feel like moving anymore. So let me go back and say, what was your why for your first, because how many Ironman have you done?
I've not many as you, but I've done 5. I have another one coming up in May. So it's 6. I've done ultra triathlons. And I'm at a point where I can do Ironmans just for the sake of doing Ironmans, just to keep training up.
Yeah. It's just a training day.
It's just almost a training day.
So
and then still try to place high.
Yeah. I convinced, I think I got my son hooked on endurance, and we're doing a race in a couple of weeks. And I was like, just use it as your training day. Just use it as a training day. So let me ask you, what was your why? What was your why in getting started in endurance sports?
Ooh, great question. A couple things. That was my why. I've always been athletic, but I've always had the problem of drinking. So even I can remember my first drink when I was 18.
Okay, wow.
And going through college, I was the big partier, the big social person. I've always been social. But then it got out of control when I got into my profession and got licensed architect, because that's what you do. You travel, you design, and you this creative, imaginative person, and you go out and have cocktails after work.
Afterwards, right. After work.
But then it hit really hard when I went through my divorce with my ex-wife, and I needed a change, and I needed something to supplement that. And I was very self-aware at the time that, okay, I need something different.
Right.
And so I was like, what is that different? What is that goal and achievement that will challenge me to a point where I have so much fear that I don't think I can do it?
Right.
So,
on your own.
Yeah, on my own.
Right.
So that's what I need to tap into. So that's when I was like triathlon, and I saw a bike. I saw people running down my street, or in a park. I was like, wow, I would love to be one of those.
Yeah.
Why can't you? Why not?
Why not? Why not? Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm a good runner, decent on the bike. I don't know how to swim. Go figure.
Yeah.
And so, and that was my coping mechanism for both of those issues, going through a divorce, because I knew I could go either way, like being in the fork in the road. I could either go down the drinking route, or I could go down the athleticism route, and the endurance route. I chose the endurance route because I knew what the other would lead to.
Right. And you had already been doing that, and it wasn't serving its...
It wasn't serving its purpose.
Right.
I mean, it served its purpose until it did.
Right.
I mean, it does its job, numbing, and until it doesn't.
Right.
And when it can't serve, when you are serving it and it's not serving you, then it's a problem.
Yeah. When it's controlling.
When it's controlling you.
Yeah.
And not the opposite.
Yeah.
Then you know.
And that's Rich, I mean, that's hard.
Very
to
difficult.
Even find that line or that balance, and then say, wait a minute, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm. Because you see the results of it, not only just like the reap what you sow portion of it, but people are telling you, hey, you have a problem. Hey, this is happening. This is happening. And if you don't change it, it's going to continue to happen.
Right.
And so it was just a decision. Everybody's one decision away from changing their entire trajectory.
That's good.
One decision away.
Yeah.
It takes one decision. And then it spirals. Actually, it compounds. It compounds to this, and then compounds. It doesn't add up. It actually compounds.
Right.
And next thing you know, it's like if you shoot a bullet and the wind is 1 degree, by the time it gets 1,500 miles away, it's almost like 90 degrees away.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it actually compounds in itself. And that's what it did for me. It just gave me a different avenue of going. But then new challenges arise. The fear comes in, the doubts.
Right.
You can't do this, you can't do that. I didn't know how to swim. I remember my first time in a pool, I couldn't even go 25 meters. Like I would go halfway down the pool and couldn't do it. And I was like, this
is not good.
Man, Black people, man, they say we can't swim, and I'm proving them right.
Yeah,
this is horrible. I gotta get in this pool every day.
Yeah.
But it was the tenacity, and it was the future me. I wanted to meet the future me.
Yeah, I like that. You could see yourself in the future. You could see how you wanted to be versus how you were, because how you were wasn't working anymore. And so you envisioned. It's kind of like I read a book recently. It said David envisioned that he was king. So first you have to see it before you see it, believe it, and then you achieve it, right?
Yeah. And that's exactly what I did. So then I reverse engineered it. Okay, this is who I want to be.
Right.
All right, so I'm here. And some people get discouraged because their reality doesn't meet their expectation.
Right.
And then they get stuck in that. But if you re-engineer it, and go through the process, because there's some beauty in the process. I love the process, and I fell in love with the process.
Yeah,
it's like God makes you take the stairs, and then Satan sends the limo type. You know what I mean? Right. I love, and I learned to fall in love with the process, and just get it.
Because growth happens outside of our comfort zone.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Yes. Yeah.
You know, Rich, I couldn't swim either.
Oh, yeah?
Couldn't swim. I mean, I could swim, but swimming was my weakest discipline. And I remember my first half Ironman, I backstroked because I panicked. When I put my face in the water, I panicked. I froze, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And I later learned that I could have gotten disqualified for backstroking.
Oh, really?
I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
I
That's
didn't either.
new.
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably old because it was 15 years ago that I did that one. But fear took over, and I was like, okay. But I think being able to overcome self-doubt with maybe even self-discipline, like the voice, I can't do it, I'm not enough, I'm not going to make it, and just proving those lies wrong is huge.
Yeah, and it's also challenging yourself and demanding evidence from what you think you see or what you are.
Yeah.
Like demand evidence. And I was like, okay, you can't swim. Well, I really swam this far. Okay, what if I can go 30?
Yeah.
And then I did 30. Well, if I can do 30, I can do 40. If I can do 40, I can do 50. And it's that one step at a time,
Making the impossible possible, like one step at a time. Yeah. Rich, I could talk to you for hours and hours. So we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna come back for a part 2. So stay tuned, and we'll come back later with a part 2. Thanks for tuning in.